Hi, my name is Stephen Said and I'm the Director of Corporate Affairs at Young Living in Sydney. Today I just want to take you through some points about the policies and procedures that, look, must admit some people probably find very boring, but we're going to take you through anyway. Just some samples of rules that people need to understand when they're either joining the business or training others to join the business. And other things that you need to know just to keep us compliant, to make sure that we're meeting all the regulatory authorities' needs and really being part of what Young Living is all about. These are in no particular order, okay? So we're just going to go through these. I've just picked out of the policies and procedures. Oh, I'm just having trouble here. There we go. Okay, first off, there's a code of ethics. You need to follow to the highest standards of honesty, professionalism, and integrity in development and operation of your sales organisation. You give prompt and efficient service to anyone that you've introduced to Young Living. You not make any negative or disparaging remarks about Young Living founders, any Young Living competitor, or their people, products, and organisations. You will not make disparaging remarks about unfounded claims about any business or organisations or their products within the marketplace. And you'll not engage in any activities that may cause your losses to Young Living or any other Young Living member. You perform all duties of a sponsor and leader as you build your Young Living business, including providing the necessary training and support. You respect the privacy of both your upline and downline members and customers. You'll not recruit Young Living members to other business opportunities. And you will abide by all the rules, regulations, laws, and ordinances that are applicable to the operation of your sales organisation as an independent member. These are our code of ethics. This is what we are bound by. This is what Young Living say is important to be a Young Living member. You know, we all have to live by ethics. We all live by rules, whether road rules, taxes, whatever. We all have to do that. And so it's really important that we all live by these code of ethics as Young Living members. As I said, I've picked these and they're not in any particular order. But gifting, we allow people to, members to gift money to other people's accounts. Now, because of the DSA, that's the Direct Selling Association regulations, we can't do great amounts. It can't be seen like you're bribing people to come into the business, like you're paying them to come in. They have to know that they're coming in on their own merit. They have to know that they've signed up to a multi-level marketing business. And to do that, a lot of the rules around the DSA say that that person must sign their own form, must pay their own money, must be understanding of what they're getting into and the business that they're getting into. But we do allow people to gift. So, but up to a maximum of $40. And that is not $40 every couple of days. And, you know, it's $40 here and there is the limit in which the US is $25. In Australia, we do $40. Oh, sorry, too far. Okay, spouse accounts. As you know, you're only technically allowed to have one account. But what we do now allow is that spouses can have an account. So I can have an account and my wife can have an account. Now, you've got to be aware that there's some rules around that. That is, they have to have separate payment details on the account. They have to have their own contact details on the account. And we do audit the spouse accounts from 2019. The reason for this is because if what's happening is you're just using the same bank account for both accounts, what that means is that we can't track as to who's ordering for what, who's ordering for what account. If you're going to have a spouse account, it must be a separate business account that must be able to operate within its own right. So we do ask for separate payment details and separate contact details. There's no point in having a spouse account if your spouse isn't interested in building that business as well. It really just defeats the purpose. So you can have a beneficial interest in more than one account. And I brought this slide up because I also want to talk about duplicate accounts. Now, a duplicate account is somewhere where you will sign up under someone, and then you might go and sign up under someone else. Now, whether that be within a few days of starting, or whether it's within a week of starting, a month, a year, or whatever. The moment you have two accounts, it's considered a duplicate account, unless it's a spouse account where one has to be under the other and can only be in either level 1 or 2. But duplicate accounts we quite often find are in different legs as well. That sort of thing can't happen. We need to make sure that you only have one account, and that's the one that you were signed into. If we find duplicate accounts, just to let you be aware, we do terminate the second account and put you back in the first one, and then we will work with you as to educate you on how to do this properly. It's really important that everyone only has one account. Now, you can actually have a second account, and this is where it gets a little bit complicated, because you can do a second account if you inherit a second account. So you can have a second account through a spouse account, or you can have a second account through an inheritance. But these are the only two that we will allow for duplicate accounts. Outside of that, we won't allow it. So you can have you can inherit a business. Any business can be willable. I get a lot of questions about whether a business, has to be a certain level. Do they have to fill out a form? None of that. If you want to will your business to your children, to your partner, to your friend, whoever, all you need to do is put that in your will. On your passing, that person will then send in a copy of the will and a death notice, and then we'll transfer that account to them. Now, be aware they won't be able to have two accounts. That person who is receiving the account will have to either terminate from the account that they are in, or take on your account. So you can't technically be in both unless they're in the same line. So if you have an account over here in one leg and you've willed one, you've received one in a will over here, we would technically ask you to pick one. Now, if by chance you are allowed to, because there is a relationship there and it's actually within a leg and so forth, we will allow you to have both. But it needs to be seen that you're able to run both. If you can run both, then that's fine. But if we find that one is being neglected while the other is growing, then we would be saying to you, look, how about we terminate this one and you just work the one that you're in, because these other people are being left behind. They're not getting the support you're supposed to give them and so forth. So we do ask for that to happen. Stacking. Now, stacking is something that comes up quite often. Stacking means holding on to member agreements and piling them up and being able to then manipulate the order in which you put them in. And really, you shouldn't be doing that. That really is something that we try and keep an eye on. An account must be executed within 2 days of its signing. So be aware that you can't be holding onto stacks of applications. As soon as they're signed or agreed to, whether it be online or on paper form, whatever, they must be submitted through. I get asked a lot of questions about sampling. Look, sampling is something that's been done in this industry for quite some time, but be aware that sample has its own risk. Sampling is not something that is backed by any sort of insurance. If you do the challenge with sampling is you don't have labeling compliance. It doesn't usually have the ingredients. It just has a name on it. It's not in a proper container. Quite often people sample and put things in plastic bags and so forth, where there's a risk of contamination. As I say, this business we do a lot of sampling, but you need to be aware. If you do it at your own risk. Very rarely would it be covered by insurance. In fact, I've checked this out with a number of insurance companies, and they won't back it because it's not labelled compliantly, because it's not put in a proper container. It just won't happen. So just be aware that try and minimise the samples and what you do with them and who you give them to, because it is a risk for you. Sponsored changes after enrolling. We quite often have people come to us and say, look, I I've signed up with someone, but you know what, they're 50 kilometers away from me, and I'd like to sign up with someone within my area, and I've met them and I like them and I think I can work with them. If that's within 30 days, that's usually no problem. If it's within 5 days, we can do it in the office. Member services, just ring member services and we can make that change for you. If it's within 5 to 30 days, then it must get submitted to resolutions. But rarely would they ever knock that back. Within 30 days, it'll be changed. So long as, you know, everyone's agreeing to it, that's fine. After 30 days is your problem. If after 30 days you want to make a change, then you need to go and get 3 upline approvals to make that change. And we have a form. You only need to contact us and we'll send you out the form to get it signed. But after 30 days, you've got to do the form. Within 30 days, contact us, contact member services, and we can get everything done for you that you need to do. If you share a link to an article, a video, an image, or a website that contains non-compliant content, even if Young Living is not mentioned, your site will be considered out of alignment with the P's and P's. So what it'll actually be is non-compliant. Even closed or private groups must only contain compliant content. We in Australia have a very, very tight regulatory system. Okay, we have to work with bodies like the TGA, which is a Therapeutic Goods Administration, or the CMA, which is a Complementary Medicines Association, the DSA, which is a Direct Selling Association. We have other ones. We have BICONs and a whole list of regulatory bodies that we need to deal with. And so we quite often say to you, look, you can't go around saying certain oils will help therapeutically. You know, it just can't be done. We need to make sure that we are within the confines of what we can say compliantly, or we get these regulatory bodies coming to us and saying, listen, you're not being compliant. You're saying things you shouldn't. We can be fined. Directors can be jailed. We can get some major issues out of people being non-compliant. So we ask that you only share compliant information, whether that be articles, videos, images, websites, and so forth, because it just helps our business. It helps your business. Back in 2015, when compliance started in Australia, we did see a downturn in business. But you know what? What's happening at the moment is that people are saying, well, I have to find a reason, an everyday reason to promote oils because I love them so much. It doesn't have to be therapeutic. I'll find an everyday reason. And business is booming because of that. Business is booming because people are finding a reason outside of a therapeutic use to promote oils. It's really important that you guys help us stay compliant because I tell you what, if we get notified by the TGA that we're out of compliance, they will contact you as well. Believe me, they do search websites and so forth and find non-compliant information, and they will contact you. The TGA has only just recently announced a new compliance structure when it comes to advertising. So if you're advertising your product and it's not in a compliant manner, they will contact you directly and you can be fined thousands of dollars. So just be aware of that we work together and we will help you in the office to achieve what you need to do. And we have terminologies and we have words that you can use to get a message across that is compliant. Hashtags must be compliant. So examples of a non-compliant hashtag: I woke up yesterday feeling sick, but today I feel great. Hashtag thieves for the win. Hashtag thanks Young Living, that sort of thing. Please be really careful about these because while they just seem like a lot of fun and you're not really saying a lot, you know, your thieves for the win is not really saying, you know, what the issue was and what you were, how you were sick, but it gives the impression that thieves will help people who are sick and therefore that is non-compliant. So it's really difficult. And, you know, it's really hard for me to stand here and to be able to say to you, look, you know, you can't say these things. And I know it sounds like a real downer, but it's not. This business is so exciting and thrives on finding everyday uses for oils that are compliant. Cross-line recruiting. Now, cross-line recruiting is contacting someone who is already a member in another line of sponsorship and asking them to join you. You can't do that. In some cases, it comes through demeaning and discrediting the existing line of sponsorship that that person is in. We all have to work together. If someone is already in a line of sponsorship, sure, you can be friends with them. Sure, you can talk to them about the business, but they stay where they are and they build the business where they are, and you build it where you are. We can't have cross-line situations going on. We can't have people bringing over from one line to another. It is not fair on the business, and it really does hinder people's growth, because all of a sudden it puts a negativity into their business, and it holds them back. So just be aware of what cross-line recruiting is, and that we really shouldn't be doing it. I get asked a lot, can I sell a business? Can I transfer a business? Yes, you can. You can sell a business if you wish to, just by, both yourself and the buyer writing a letter to us and saying, look, we'd like to make this happen. The receiving party must become a member and must be a member in good standing. So if it's someone, we've terminated a couple of years ago, we probably wouldn't allow that sale to happen. But if it's someone who we think, yes, it seems like a nice person, seems like they're going to work the business and they're interested, then yes, there's a way of being able to make that happen. There's a form that has to be filled out. Again, member services can send that to you, and we can get that process for you. There's a $50 fee that goes along with that. But be aware, the selling party steps away from the business. They can't keep any of their information. So they can't, like the bottom of this says, the transferring party must not retain any copies, digital or otherwise, of personal information belonging to the existing downline. That all goes to the buyer. The buyer comes straight into that position that they're in that line of sponsorship. They can't bring another leg over, for example. So if you sell to someone who's already is already a member, then they choose to either stay where they are and not go ahead with the sale, or buy the business, but they themselves move, and the rest of their business and their existing line of sponsorship rolls up because they're moving into this leg. So that's the way that has to work. But look, if you want to sell a business, there's an opportunity there to do it, and you just got to work with the buyer. Income claims are really important, because we can't be seen to be promoting hugely successful opportunities with Young Living. Not because it doesn't happen, but because to work a business or to build a business or to be successful in a business, you have to work. It takes time, it takes effort. To be able to be going out there saying, I became a Young Living member and I'm a millionaire and I don't have to work anymore and I just put my feet up and all this money rolls into me. That might be working for someone, but it won't work for everybody. So it really is important that we make a proper income claim if we're going to talk about income claims. Now, until recently, we haven't really been able to say much about, I bought a new car thanks to Young Living, or I paid off credit cards thanks to Young Living, because that even then is something that some people can't do, so therefore we usually won't say it. But we've decided to just, I guess, soften up a little bit on this. And so long as it's used in conjunction with this other comment and this other statement, then it's okay. So I bought a new car thanks to Young Living. By building a successful Young Living business, it requires a lot of time, plenty of hard work and goals to work toward, and so much more. Everyone's experience is different. So you can make a comment like, I bought a new car, I paid off a credit card, or remodeled my house because of my successful Young Living business, which takes a lot of time and work and effort and so forth. And then as well, you present the IDS to show just what the incomes are within the Young Living business. Now, the IDS is the income disclosure statement, which again, you can get from us or go to your upline, you can get it from them. But so long as all three are worked in conjunction together, we're okay. If you just use the first part of the statement, I remodeled my house thanks to Young Living, that's not compliant. Used in conjunction with the other statement and used in conjunction with the IDS, it's fine. It's not a problem at all. And we're quite happy for you to say it. Okay, look, that really draws me to a close, and I want to thank you for listening today. And I hope I haven't bored you. I hope I haven't put you all to sleep. Um, and I know I get excited about rules and regulations, but a lot of people don't. But look, thank you. And I look, if you have any questions, please get on to the office, speak to member services, or speak to myself or Samantha. You can contact us on our email address, which is conduct.au@youngliving.com.au. That is conduct.au@youngliving.com.au. Or please ring through to member services. We're here for you. We want to help you. We want to help you build your business. We want your business to be successful. And we're prepared to work and to give you the information and the detail that you need to build it. And we're going to build it together. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate your time. Bye-bye.